Stephen, many congratulations on joining Forces Children Scotland. How does it feel to finally get started?
Great. Well, this is exciting, is it?
Absolutely.
Is this exciting?
Absolutely.
It is exciting. Good. I'm glad it's exciting.
Absolutely.
Not delighted. It's been a wee while coming round now, but looking forward to getting started. And ultimately, I hope I can repay the faith that's been put in me by the board in terms of appointing me and the children and young people who were involved in the recruitment process and the some of the staff that were involved as well, that they've made the right decision. And look, the last couple of weeks I've had a wee bit of time off, so I've really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed doing the school runs and going walks and going to the gym and all that sort of the good stuff. But now that I've kind of had that personal break, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into something a bit more professionally and finding my purpose again.
Brilliant. I hear there's a rumour too, they've put a hashtag in Stephen We Trust. How do you feel about that?
I'm happy to roll with it. I hope I can prove the faith.
Absolutely. We have faith too, Stephen. Don't you worry.
Good,
Oh, good.
Good.
So obviously there's lots of progression opportunities out there at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just really keen to learn more about what inspired you to apply for the role of CEO at Forces Children Scotland.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. No, I often quite say that I don't really know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm nearly 40 now, so I better. It's about time I started to make a decision. But I think there's a bit of me that feels that Forces Children Scotland could maybe be my calling. To be honest with you,
Okay.
There was two things. One round about the mission, and the other one round about values. So from a mission point of view, I'm a big believer. Look, it's nearly the end of 2024. Every child in Scotland should have an equal chance to flourish, and that isn't the conditions that we're in at the minute. But then when you think of children from the Forces community and some of the specific disadvantages that some of them may face, all those young people and children having, opportunity to thrive, to reach their potential, that really got me going, got me enthused about exploring whether, from a two-way point of view, this was something that could work out. And then from a values point of view, I'm very much values-led. It's really important to me. So the fact that the organisations out there that we're passionate, we're trusted, we're collaborative, we're honest. These things are important to me as well. I'm very much a health first, family all day long type of guy. I feel that really resonates. I bring a lot of positivity, a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. I feel like that resonates as well, and probably particularly that collaborative one. Like just the way Scotland, the way the world is just now, you can't do anything by yourself. I'm a big believer in partnership and collaboration. I'm quite excited to see what we can achieve.
Absolutely, Stephen. So, Stephen, you were talking there earlier about the experiences of children and young people equal to the experience of children and young people from armed forces communities there. So, had you gained insight previously before you started this interview process?
Yeah, so through different points in my career, I've had various touch points with the Forces community. Never a prominent part of previous roles, but always something that, whether it was through being a teacher or running different charities or working in an infrastructure organisation, it was part of the makeup of different communities you were serving. But certainly through the recruitment process, learned a lot. There was various stages there. First of all, met with the co-chairs, Max Young and Harvey Tilley, and that kind of really got me thinking about some of the different challenges that the armed forces community face and the children and young people face. Had the opportunity to meet directly with some children and young people as part of the process, so they were very quick to and keen to share their experiences with me and likewise back the way. And then recruitment's very much a two-way thing, so having that connection with some of the staff that are involved in the process as well, there seemed to be that synergy of well, we could be working together for that common cause and that mission. But really I think the recruitment process for me was very much validation round about some of the challenges that children and young people from the Forces community face, whether it be deployment, the uncertainty, unfortunate bereavement at times, the fact that a parent or guardian may come back with an injury, you may have to be a young carer, the unsettled round about the moving around, the impact on their education, their social circles, etc. So again, going back to values, I'm really passionate about wanting to listen and better understand what that means for young people in their lives and how we can better support them moving forward.
It just must have felt like a really sort of a surge of energy to really sort of engage with children and young people. That interview process, it must have been quite an exciting experience there, rather than just doing this kind of standard interviews maybe with other jobs, but you're actually meeting the children and young people we support, these children and young people that have been involved in so much of the wonderful projects we've co-produced over the last couple of years. So that must have been really provide quite a unique insight.
Yeah, very much so. And I think when you're again when you're a two-way thing, you're going through a recruitment process. I think if there wasn't an opportunity to meet with some people as part of the process, that might have been a wee bit of a red flag, because we're, as an organisation, we lead from the front in terms of we co-produce with our young people. So for young people need to be involved in the recruitment process,
100%.
because if as an organisation we appointed somebody that the young people couldn't see as the leader of the organisation, then you know, then we wouldn't be moving in the right directions. But that opportunity to hear directly with them, took a wee bit of a risk and played a wee bit of a game with them, just to get to know each other a wee bit better, which was fun and quite interactive.
Absolutely.
Kind of showed my personality a wee bit as well. But then importantly, towards the end, I asked them for a wee bit of advice as well, should I be lucky enough to be successful. So I'll hold that close when I actually get to meet with them when we're in the role, you know.
No, I'd heard all about the game, Stephen. I mean, it's reached even the echelons of marketing and communication. So don't be surprised if we end up videoing it at some point or all that kind of good stuff.
I'm here for it.
Absolutely. So your CV, Stephen, is incredibly impressive. Absolutely, 100%. So what I'd be keen to get from you now is, what does Stephen Sweeney bring to Forces Children Scotland?
I think throughout your career, you take little bits from different roles, and maybe if you think that you're maybe starting to get to the point where you're calling, you piece it all together. So I was a teacher, I was a PE teacher, and I really enjoyed working with children and young people every day, and probably that was at that point, look, I definitely want to be supporting children and young people in some way as part of my career. But I guess I was reflecting, do I see myself from doing that from within the profession or out with? And I felt that I probably wanted to do that from out with and explore other things. So worked at a couple of football clubs, running their community departments, and then setting up their charities. So more recently in Aberdeen, ran their charity for 8 years as Chief Operating Officer. And probably the highlight there is that we were named by UEFA, the governing body for European football, as the best professional club in the community in Europe.
Fantastic.
So really proud of that, but actually, why am I really proud of that? And it goes back to your question. We were successful with that because of how involved young people were in the participation of the charity and shaping the services and getting really engaged in their community and using the brand of the club to give them a voice. So hopefully can bring some of those experiences, having lived and breathed or did some of this similar work in a previous organisation. The last 4 years just about, I've been Chief Executive of an infrastructure organisation, a third sector interface. So I guess in terms of the good running of an organisation, the good governance, the capacity building, any challenge an organisation would face, I've been supporting other organisations to try and learn and improve, and then been really fortunate that then from both a local and a national point of view, it's got me involved in a lot of kind of different strategic things. So I think it's helped me kind of get reasonably well rounded. And then moving now into this role, it's one of 3 hats that I wear. So it will very much be my priority number 1 hat all day long, but I'll wear another 2. I'm a board member at Sport Scotland.
Okay.
So I guess that's great for me in terms of what will I bring into to this, just understanding how does a public body operate. You know, I'm sure there'll be a number of public bodies that we'll want to engage with in the coming months and years, and just how they approach systems change in terms of the sporting system, and that can also be transferred across different areas. And then at Children in Scotland, I'm the convener of the board of directors. So I guess just having that oversight as the member organisation in which we are a member of, then it's great just to see all the different children's sector organisations and the magic that happens there, and hopefully that will help with connections, networks, partnership, opportunity. So I guess that's different touch points of my kind of experience. In terms of me and who I am as part of the recruitment process as well, I forgot to say actually, I was delighted to do a children young persons application in any way that I wanted. So I decided to do a video. I did a one-take, I attempted to do a one-take wonder of a video. It was perfectly imperfect, but that's who I am. And in that video I said that I was quite authentic. I said that I was honest, I was quite brave, and I would always try and do right by everybody. So I would want to be real intentional in bringing that into the role as well.
Yeah. And I think it's wonderful just listening to what you've said there. I mean, there's a real strong strand of what you're saying, working with young people, working with the community, but equally in every role you've done, there's a real strong sense of identity. And I think working particularly with children and young people from armed forces and veteran families, that identity is very special, which brings both the positives and the challenges. So I'm guessing that was maybe something you really brought maybe to the children and young people and even the staff and the trustees at the interviews. Was that something you put across?
Sure, well, look, but brand, identity, belonging, feeling part of something's really important. And I think in there, I recognise, whilst I've had different touch points with the forces community before, I know that I've got 2 ears and I've got one mouth, so
Yes.
I'm keen to listen, actively listen directly with children and young people and listen to understand so that actually then we can then implement, some improvements and best serve them
Absolutely.
as we can. So we'll do that with intention.
So Stephen, co-production is at the heart of everything we do here at Forces Children Scotland. So what's your initial impressions of all the fantastic projects, services and campaigns that we've co-produced together with children and young people from our Forces communities?
Yeah, no, from the outside looking in, it's very, very impressive, and I can't wait to meet some of the children and young people directly and for them to tell me what they think and what their experiences has been. But I really like the combined force methodology, so keen to understand and see that in action. Excited about that. And then even if you look at our most recent impact report, had a read of that the other week. It's really impressive, and I like when you look at these things, particularly organisations that say that they're co-producing. Do you see the stories
Yes, indeed.
coming through? Because that's what it's all about. That's where the magic happens, And I really like the balance between the narrative, the data, the imagery that's all in there. But then it's all about the storytelling. It's about some of the young people's experiences, whether they're benefiting from a service, whether they were it was about their participation, whether they've been fortunate to receive a grant.
Absolutely.
It's really heartening. Again, I can't wait to meet some of these young people directly and hear around how they've been supported and what more we can do for them.
I think by the nature and size of the organisation, that was quite an exciting prospect as Chief Executive Officer. It's not going to be like in other organisations where the team, children, young people come to you, present. You're going to have the opportunity to get involved in combined force, that co-production methodology that we have, and actually work together with this community to co-produce future projects, services and campaigns. That must be very exciting for you as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, first of all, my role's to support the team and help the team do what they want to do. So I've no desire to be stepping on anybody's toes. Let folk, there'll be folk in the team where that's their area of expertise and they'll know far more than I can ever even imagine. So there to support them and help them do their thing because it's all about the collective. But yeah, I'd be keen to be quite a visible leader without stepping on anybody's toes, and keen to hear directly, but also just regardless of who I am or what I'm not, just as a team member. I've seen these Forces Children Scotland hoodies, and I can't wait to get one of them on. And just to chat with young people directly. Absolutely. Just from my background, whether it was in education or whether it was running other charities, I like having direct contact with people from their lived experience. And I think that was one of my motivators, and went back to one of the earlier questions. My previous role, I was loving doing what I was doing, but we were supporting organisations, and then they get away and they got to do the magic happen. So probably I'm just missing that opportunity to see the direct impact or to have that direct contact with the people that they serve, and the whole purpose, the whole why are we here, what we're here. So yeah, really excited about that.
It's brilliant, and I'm pleased to say we also have a branded coffee mug and water bottle ready for you, Stephen. So
I'm blessed.
That first day in the office,
I've got my badge on, look.
You're fully branded up, even with the badge. So we're ticking all the boxes, Stephen,
We're here
in
for
more
it.
ways than one, aren't we?
Absolutely.
So I think just leading on to what we've just been talking about there, Stephen, so it's an incredibly exciting role, as you've said, and we've explored some of those aspects of co-production, really getting involved with the children, young people, the team. But where do we start? What's task one, day one? Where do we start with regards to this exciting new journey under your leadership?
Day one. How do you put the laptop on?
It starts with a cup of tea, obviously.
Starts with a cup of tea. No, I think the first thing to acknowledge is that the organisation's in a good place. Quite often you may be starting your job and there's big challenges. And of course, like with the way the public and voluntary sector at the minute, there's no lack of challenges. With the level of need with children and young people, there's no lack of need. Things that we need to be doing, but we don't need to be sprinting into anything. Or I don't feel that I need to be sprinting into anything. Particularly going through the recruitment process, you get a good feel of what your onboarding is going to look like, and I'm sure we'll set probationary targets, etc. But for me, there seems to be kind of two clear initial bits of work to get into, and then probably the more fundamental part of the role, the first few months, the first 6 months. The first thing is that as an organisation, we've said we want to co-produce a new strategy. So probably like to understand, speaking with the board, speaking with staff, etc., speaking with children and young people, how are we going to do that? What's the methodology? How are we going to approach that? and then get stuck into that, maybe the first half in 2025. It'd be great to maybe get to the summer and feel that we've made some good progress with that, so that we can then, operate,
absolutely.
get on with the good stuff. And then the second thing, I guess, if coming into this role, I've got a great opportunity to, if I fully exercise myself as a leader, any organisation gives the opportunity to be a best-in-class employer. So only as good as how bought in the staff are to what you're doing, how happy they are. So we're really keen to better understand how we can be a best-in-class employer moving forward. So there are probably two things in my mind that really keen to get stuck into work-wise. But other than that, I don't feel I need to get sprinted into other things. And it becomes back to some of those more fundamentals around about connection, trust, respect, folk feeling safe, folk feeling happy to have conversations, connecting internally, but importantly externally as well, So we've got quite some of the board that have been there a while, we've got quite a new board.
That's right, yeah.
There's a fair proportion of the staff that have maybe been here less than 2 years as well. So
Yeah,
we've got to acknowledge that there's quite a lot of freshness there. So there's lots of positivity to that, lots of energy to harness. But we've got to acknowledge that maybe some of the corporate memory of the organisation maybe isn't there. So we've got to understand how we factor that in. But again, whether it's within the military sector, the children's sector, I'm really excited about how we can harness the collective strengths of both. But first and foremost, I need to get out there, I need to speak to people.
Yes, indeed.
And just first and foremost, as humans, get to know them, understand what shared missions, what shared values have we got, what shared goals have we got, and then get innovating some really exciting things that we could do moving forward. But there's no rush there, New strategy, best-in-class employer if we can, and then just get out there and meet people and get to know people, nurture some relationships.
Absolutely, and it all starts with a cup of tea, getting your hoodie, and then
Keep the badge on.
Keep the badge on, and then, like you say, just do all that wonderful stuff. That's fantastic.
One bit of caffeine at a time.
One bit of caffeine, absolutely. It's a massive ask at this stage, Stephen, but I think it's always important to ask these questions. So, if you could fast forward, 3 years down the line, where do you see the organisation, and how far do you see the organisation coming in making Scotland a place where all children and young people from armed forces communities can realise their potential and thrive?
Well, I think one of the key building blocks for that, and I made kind of point of this at interviews, that I want Forces Children Scotland to be a healthy and happy workplace, laser focused on delivering one mission. So that comes back to understanding with all our colleagues, what does being a healthy and happy organisation look like? What does that look like? What does it feel like? Scratch underneath the surface and actually build something really special together in terms of the culture and what we're looking to have. And we'll already be on some point of that journey, so I need to integrate myself into that. As part of developing the new strategy, we'll probably be reflecting on our mission, and is that on point? I certainly don't get a sense that there's need for any transformation, far from it. I think we're in a good place. It's just slight evolution on the next stage of the journey. So if we're laser focused on our mission, I've always been somebody that doesn't just view it as a bit of paper or a document or a poster up on the wall. We're actually going to try and do it.
Absolutely.
Promise you that, whatever the mission is, we'll try and do it with intention, with commitment, relentlessly. And so whether that's about, the potential of children and young people in the forces community, whether that's about making sure they thrive, whether it's about the breadth and depth of our services, our participation, or whatever priorities we see going forward, I'm excited to explore that. But I think if we're looking back in a few years, we'll have a really healthy, happy, thriving organisation, resilient organisation, and we'll be laser focused on delivering our mission. Everything that we'll be doing will be with intention, trying to best serve who we're here to support.
Fantastic stuff, Stephen. So I think in closing, what would be, I think in many ways that was a really strong message. But if you were to leave a message for our team, trustees, children, young people and wider partners, what would that message be as you begin this new point in your career and journey as CEO of Forces Children Scotland?
What a question.
I know.
What a question. I think just for the team, just looking forward to joining you, listening, learning, understanding, and hopefully just build trust, respect, rapport with you over time. Just look forward to being part of the team and getting stuck in. And hopefully there was some things in that interview that resonated with you. I think for children and young people, I'll bring it back to my interview. So four young folks interviewed me, and I said earlier about I asked for some advice at the end of the interview. And one of the young people were very clear. Said, look, it's great that you're saying about you want to be visible and you actually want to speak to us direct, but said actually listen. And can we not always talk about what the adults want to talk about, and can we actually control the agenda a bit more? And that's not to be critical of anything that we're doing now, but that's a message that kind of landed with me. So we're already, it's clear that co-production's completely embedded in what we're doing, but just, a commitment to that, I promise that we will listen and do everything that we can to try and deliver on our mission and best support you as part of as much we possibly can. With the board, really excited to work with. In previous roles, I've always really enjoyed collaborating with the board, building stronger boards, my background as well, and most recently in terms of good governance. Hopefully that'll be helpful and make sure we're a resilient organisation for the future. And then externally, probably my last few roles, that's probably one of my biggest strengths, to be honest, about partnership, collaboration, building those mutual interests. So I'm really looking forward to speaking to 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 organisations out there over the coming months, the coming years, and to go, right, well, what have we got in common? We'll have more things similar than other and different. We'll celebrate with things that are different about us. History's history, we can't do anything about it, but what are we going to do together moving forward? What are our shared missions? What are our shared values? What are our shared goals? And then it doesn't matter what organisation you're wearing, or what badge you're wearing or not wearing, who we're here to help. Put all that to one side and let's get on with helping who we're here to help. So I'm really excited to get stuck into all that. So I don't know if that was a message. That was a rant.
That was a really strong message, Stephen. You know what really was interesting about that is, throughout the interview, you've talked so much about, team, unity, identity. It's all incredible stuff, and it's going to be such a massive asset in terms of what we hope to achieve, but it's also drawing a lot of parallels with the military, isn't it, with regards to the values and standards. So when you think something called sea drills, so you've got basically your courage, your discipline, respect for others, integrity, loyalty, and selfless commitment. And that's been the huge take for me from the interview. I'm thinking, I'm seeing such parallels with the values and standards that are expected in the armed forces. And it's such an exciting prospect there. And I think as well, when you're talking about, some of the organisations you've worked for, where we're talking about that, team spirit, core identity, working together as a unit to basically achieve, wonderful things, that seems to come out there. So, I think all that's left there really in closing is just to really thank you for your time and really sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
Like I say, we wish you well on your new journey, and we all look forward to working with you.
Thank you. See you all soon.